Hi, my name's Chris and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the first time I've actually spoken on my channel, and why today? Well, today is IDAHOBIT Day and it's all about breaking the silence against homophobia, transphobia, intersex phobia and biphobia. So I thought today I may as well break the silence by sharing my coming out story. And you may be asking, well, what's a 48-year-old sharing his coming out story for? I think it's important that we all share our story. And I've watched on YouTube a lot of young people sharing their stories, and I find it so inspirational. And it's just amazing that they've got the technology today that they can speak openly about their sexuality or their identity, which is something we found very hard to do when I was younger. I didn't come out till I was 25, and that was in 1996, I think. Yes, 1996. And I kept my sexuality very suppressed until then. Even though looking back, it's like, no, you didn't. It's like, hey, I wore a Boy George wind cheater to school when I was 13. It's like, there were signs. There were signs out there. Yeah, and why so late? I think it had a lot to do with my upbringing, and I don't think there's any right or wrong time to come out, which is something I've learnt later on. And yeah, timing. My parents were both born in the 1930s, and sexuality and even heterosexuality and sexuality in general was not a thing that was expressed in our household and talked about very much. So I sort of grew up to suppress some sort of things, and I was just told I was a bit of a weak kid, and I just thought I wasn't good enough for anything, and so I suppose it wasn't till late high school I started feeling things. I was around 17, and it's like, well, people are getting girlfriends. It doesn't interest me. And it's like, well, there's some video clips on TV, and some of the guys look pretty cute in that. And I was sort of like, yeah, that may be my thing. So that's when I sort of got the feelings, and really by the time I was 18 I knew I was gay, and but I kept suppressing them feelings, and and it was really hard because there was a lot of fear too. It was like I went to a technical school which was mainly boys, and there was one gay kid there I knew of who was openly gay, and he'd get bashed every lunch break, and the teachers would just say, "Oh, hang around the girls; they'll keep you safe. Just hang around them," and stuff like that. So it wasn't a very good example to learn from. And then I went and got my first job as an apprentice chef at 18, and then really got to know some gay people, and again, same thing. They were really bullied at school, and the pressure was on to have your girlfriend and stuff. I just said, I'm not interested, and just kept any sexual feelings repressed and hidden. I'd go into the city to the adult bookshop and buy a gay magazine called Outrage, which was published in Australia in the 80s and 90s, and there was another one called Campaign, so it was like gay media. I was reading that, and that was sort of my only contact with the whole gay community and outside world. Things changed in my mid-20s. I started working out at Melbourne Airport, got to meet other people like me, and even before that, actually, I started following the group Take That, and around that we had pen friends. So I had pen friends from all around the world, and it was fabulous. And so I'd have all these girls writing to me from UK, Japan, Germany, whatever, and they're like, oh, it's okay to be gay. And then it's like, oh, so that was sort of the first people I came out to be. And it's like, yeah, it's quite obvious. A young guy following a boy band. Yeah. And that sort of became my community. I started following around groups that were visiting and made some friends out at the airport. Yeah, we'd go and see whatever the latest group was in town and try to get into record company gigs and whatever. And so it was sort of becoming a bit obvious that my sexuality, that it was time, I guess, that I had to tell my family and my workmates. And so I was still really scared, and I went and seen the movie My Best Friend's Wedding with Julia Roberts and Rupert Everett in it, and that sort of made my mind. And I went, there was a moment in the movie where Julia Roberts was going under the bridge with her best friend, and there was a moment that for them to kiss, but they let the moment slip by. And I always remember that scene. I'm going, oh, I can't let this moment slip by. So my mum was out in the backyard by herself. And I thought, oh, I'll tell Mum, I'm not sure how she's going to react. And I told her, and she said, well, I didn't bring you in this world to get AIDS, or don't let your father know, or don't let anyone in the family know. So that was sort of okay, but by the next day, everyone in the family knew. So my mum had been making phone calls and whatever, but it was never really discussed again. Yeah, and so life was good for a little while. Then I started having mental health issues, and things slid down pretty quickly for me. So this was like just after a year or two after coming out. So I went to a gay club for the first time in, I'd say around that 1996, around 1996, and to 97, and I was petrified to go by myself. I had to go with friends. I couldn't go by myself. I was just too insecure in myself, and just sort of had to put up this front, and and I was very comfortable going to record signings and stuff, and tried to get into parties where celebrities were, so I could fade into the background and just see this whole gay culture happen around me. Anyway, things started to go downhill. My mental health got really bad. I was suffering depression, really dark depression, and I started drinking to help that, and my anxiety got worse. Really bad. Things got so bad that I even self-harmed, and just drinking heavy. I lost all my friendships, and because of that I thought, I could never ever make contact with the gay community again, because one of my friends had a high profile in that community, and I thought, well, if he hates me, everyone's going to hate me. And I was very, very unwell for years. And I got through the depression. I started getting counselling, and the depression got a little bit better. It's never got 100% better, but yeah, it's got a lot better. And then as it was getting better, I still was drinking to try and get that feeling of like when I first came out, going out to the clubs, meeting celebrities, and just having this cool time. And I just thought, oh, why can't I get that buzz again? And I was drinking and stuff, and anyway, I sort of came to the fact that, well, I'm not going to have friends again, but I still wanted to go to concerts and stuff, and I at least had the ability to say, oh, well, I'm not missing out on a Kylie concert, I'm going by myself. I'm not missing Robbie Williams, I'm going by myself. So I was still able to function that way, and that sort of got my eyes opening again and seeing, other gay people out there enjoying themselves and that. And and so I started looking at gay media and picking up free newspapers like the Star Observer and Melbourne Community Voice, and in there was an article about a group called Outminds, which is a group for people who suffer mental health experiences in their lives, and would just go out socially once a week for maybe coffee or to an art gallery or something. And I kept that in the back of my mind and going, I may get the confidence up to do that one day. And that just stayed there for a while. So things kept getting worse for me. My drinking got that bad. I went into detox twice. Both times never worked for me. AA never worked for me. Just couldn't find my tribe, couldn't find a way out. Everything seemed so negative. And then I finally got that ill. I had complete liver failure, and I ended up in the Austin hospital. And I knew I didn't want to go to rehab, so I was very much like Amy Winehouse. No, rehab wasn't for me. And had complete liver failure. They told me basically I was going to die if I didn't stop drinking, and then maybe a slight hope, and that I was probably going to end up having a liver transplant, which did actually happen. I'll get into that a bit more later, but and I got this social worker, and she came around, and she was the first person who ever gave me options. And she goes, look, I know you don't want to go to rehab, but there's these options out there for you. And one was a program called Catalyst, which was run by Moreland Hall, which is now called Regen, and it was a day rehab. So for 6 weeks I would go every day out to Coburg to Moreland Hall, and I live out in Greensboro, which that's a fair bit of a way. And I did it, and they it uses CBT, mindfulness, and they had all other activities like nutrition, and it was like a whole lifestyle course, and that changed things for me in a big way. And I got sober, and there was no going back from that, and I was very, very sick, and I was told that I had needed a liver transplant by this time. And yes, sorry, I just had to hold on there a minute. It was just a pivoting point in my mind, in my life, and it was really great too, because like going to this Catalyst program, it was okay to be who I was, and I was listened to for the first time and speaking the truth for the first time. It was fabulous. And then anyway, time went on, and one of the things they taught me was to face my fears, and I thought, one of my fears was getting back into the gay community. How am I going to face these fears? So I decided to go to the Midsummer Festival, and I thought the Pride March is a bit too full on, Carnival Day is a bit too full on, I may get panic attacks and leave. So I went along to 2 plays, and I was starting to find my community again, and that made me think, oh, there's that group too that's out there for people. So I contacted them, had a little phone call chat to them, but I didn't join then because I was too ill, and I was very lucky and got a liver transplant in 2012 and was able to function fully, live fully, and just embrace things. And so I ran up that group. Still suffering anxiety, still suffer today, but I was able to run up that little group, and they got me out socially, and I got to meet some amazing people, and I couldn't even walk into a gay venue. So I'd done the 2 plays, gone to a lot of concerts, but no gay venues, and they had it once a month, a night at DT's hotel in Richmond, and the peer support worker basically had to hold my hand all the way in and drag me in there. That night changed my life. I was back, and I was safe, and I could just sit there in stillness, in quietness, and know that I was in a safe place, and that I could start discovering this community again. And I've been a regular member of that group for a very long time now, and as my confidence grew, we'd go once a month back to that DT's hotel, and then I went, you know what? Why don't you go to the Greyhound? Go and see Boylesque. Yeah. And again, all on my own. And again, it was like, oh my God, I'm in my 40s and I can go to nightclubs and it's okay. And there's drag queens everywhere. I discovered this new world where there's all these fabulous queens and things that I missed out on. And I just was like, oh, this is it. This is my tribe. And so then next midsummer come around, and I went to everything I could, and basically I went to one show with comedian Jonathan Duffy, and this was another pivotal moment for me. And he was a young comedian starting out. Not many people were at his show, and he said hi to me at the show, and then I came back home, and there was this Facebook friend request from Jonathan Duffy, and I answered yes, and took my time timidly getting to know him, and he introduced me to wonderful people in my community like Dolly Diamond, the wonderful Michael Dalton, who I have so much affection for. We banter on Facebook all the time, and Daniel Whithouse, and some wonderful people. And I've just realised recently they've sort of become my tribe. So I go to any queer event that I can go to now, and I love going to Molly's and seeing the drag queens, and I love going to the 86 for the same reason. And I just have to be there. I just have to be present and just enjoy myself. and I go to Midsummer, and I've been up to Shepparton for the Out in the Open Festival, and just so much more fulfilled life now. And yeah, so it's been a journey to now, and yeah, I'm still learning and discovering new things, and just adore people like Mama Alto and like Lisa Mann and all these fabulous performers in Melbourne who I'm really missing at the moment during this quarantine time. And yeah, that's basically where my journey's led me so far. And I've left out a lot, but yeah, so much to tell. Anyway, it's great to be able to grow, and life does get better, and you sometimes lose a tribe, but you find your tribe again, which is fabulous. And I've got a nice little community which I mainly converse with on Facebook because I'm a bit shy and whatever, so socially shy out in public, except for my little group at Outminds. They can't shut me up there. And yes, it's been quite a ride. Anyway, I'm going to just leave it there, otherwise I'll be going on forever. Please subscribe, because this is I'm just starting out doing this YouTube thing. Haven't got the right lighting and all that sort of stuff, but yeah, I thought it was important to post this video today. And have a great IDAHOBIT day. Bye.